Hey everybody, Jason and John here, Everyday Crypto, sponsored by CryptoTaxShield.com. Jason, thanks my friend for sitting down with me yet again. We're going to do another great episode today. I got all kinds of stuff I want to cover with you. So,
John, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. I want to go over today. I know you're not a guy who just buys and holds crypto and NFTs and all this kind of stuff. So what I wanted to do today was pick your brain a little bit on some of the activities you do with the assets that you have, and as you're getting involved in these projects. I know you just don't sit back and let nature take its course. You're proactive. So maybe you can clue us into some of those things that you do for us.
Yeah, no problem. If I could start, please, if you find any entertainment or educational value in this video, please like and subscribe. It helps us help you, and we appreciate it. We really do.
Absolutely.
And also, if I could just address the NFTs we're launching that we were supposed to make yesterday. Mm-hmm. So the gas fees were way too high.
Right.
So most people were getting an insufficient balance. The gas fees were like $25,000. It was insane.
Yeah.
And we did a dry run today, and we had the same thing. So there must be a ton of traffic on the Ethereum network right now. So what we're going to do to try and save our viewers any problems and extra fees is we're just going to go ahead and mint them ourselves.
Okay.
We'll throw them up on OpenSea, the secondary market, and we'll give you a link on the website that will send you right there. And we'll put them a little bit cheaper than we were going to put it. And that should save you the gas fees and the headaches.
Awesome.
And it'll happen between 6 and 7 o'clock Pacific Western time. So
perfect. Awesome.
Yeah. As far as my activity within crypto, I don't typically just buy an asset and hold it. I usually try and find a way to generate daily passive income off of it. Mm-hmm. And there's an art to it, and it takes a lot of research, but there are typically 3 ways you can do it, right? So there's yield farming. Mm-hmm. Yield farming is when you go to a new project and they want you to stake, give them very popular in-demand crypto coins like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Chainlink, or whatever. And then they're going to take those assets and probably put them in a liquidity pool and make income off of them. In exchange, they're going to give you a very high yield of their coin.
Okay. And
there's an art to this. So usually the APYs start off insanely high, like in the hundreds or thousands of %. And then as money comes in, it slowly just declines.
Gotcha.
And it evens out. That's one way to do it.
Okay.
The next way would be just staking. This is where you take the asset like Ethereum and you stake it to their project for whatever reason. Sometimes it's because they're a proof of stake mechanism, so they need a certain amount of coins to operate.
Right.
And other times it's just because they want to provide liquidity pools and things like this. And usually, in this scenario, you get that the coin you stake, you just get more of it back.
I see.
And usually it's a much lower interest rate because it's way less riskier.
Right.
Like if you're staking Ethereum, it's no risk. Ethereum's going nowhere, right?
Gotcha.
And then the third way would be to do liquidity mining. So if people don't know what liquidity is, so when you go to Robinhood and you go to buy a stock and you push the button and it just randomly shows up, it came from a liquidity pool.
Okay.
But in traditional finance, retail guys are not invited to be part of liquidity pools.
Gotcha.
It's reserved for the super wealthy, right? And you might ask yourself, like, oh my God, like how does Robinhood even make money?
Right.
Well, 2 different ways. One is you're front run by a bot, which means a bot buys your stock a millisecond or a billionth of a millisecond right before you do, and they sell it right back to you at a very slight increase that you really don't notice.
Gotcha.
But over billions of transactions, it's a lot of money.
Yep.
That's one way. The second way would be they own their own liquidity pools.
Right.
And there's a slight transaction fee every time you buy and sell that stock. And these liquidity pools are very lucrative. And that's typically how it works in traditional finance. And in crypto, since everything is decentralized, you're invited to participate in liquidity pools.
Gotcha.
So
interesting.
Let's just say you love Chainlink long term and you want to hold it long term, but you'd like to make some extra on it. You would just maybe go to Uniswap or SushiSwap or a million other places where you can provide liquidity for Chainlink, and you would get a percentage of those fees based on the percentage of the liquidity pool that you own.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was really those were three very common things you can do in crypto to put your assets to work.
Brings up a couple questions. One, I wrote these down. So when you're looking at doing something like that in particular, do you have any sort of fast rule of thumb on how long you want to get involved in sort of one of these three things to see some return, or is every sort of play just a long-term play, or until you see what you want? Does that make sense?
That's a great question. Yeah. No, these are all extremely very different from one another. So yield farming is usually more of an activity. Okay. It's not long term. And the reason why that is usually the coin that they're paying you out in is getting diluted very fast because they're offering you 1,000%. So they're giving everyone else 1,000%. And there's too much sell pressure.
Gotcha.
So in that kind of activity, you kind of want to get in early and get out.
Gotcha. Okay.
And these projects are all very new. So before you get involved in some sort of crazy yield farming situation, you want to know who the founders are.
Right.
You want to make sure this isn't a rug pull because it could be a rug pull, right? This is very risky play. But if you do your homework and know what you're doing and you're active on it, it's very lucrative, right?
Gotcha. So all three of these, if you were going to lump them together, would you consider all three of these things an advanced strategies, or is this something sort of beginners can dip their toe into, you think?
Yeah, let me just finish up that last
sure. Go ahead. Yeah. Yep.
I will address that for sure. With staking, it can be very long term. Like if you're bullish on something like Chainlink, which is a long term hold, you can stake it and forget about it.
Gotcha.
Look at it once a month, once a year, and then when you're ready to, it's slowly just growing for you, right?
Right.
And then when it comes to liquidity mining, it's a little more advanced, and here's the reason why.
Yeah.
When you provide liquidity, it's always in a pair.
Okay.
So it would be Ethereum and let's say USDT like Tether, or it'd be Ethereum and something else. Liquidity is always in a pair.
Okay.
So you have to provide equal amounts in that pair when you provide it into a liquidity pool. And there's this thing called impermanent loss that you have to be very cautious of. So what impermanent loss is, so you started off in equal amounts of A and B. And then all of a sudden A goes up, 200% in one day.
Right.
Well, now the pairing has to equal out. It has to stay in an equilibrium, right?
Gotcha.
So I've personally have had experiences where I'm involved in a coin and it just goes nuts, and you actually lose money on the situation because you would have had all that exposure and now it's been cut.
Gotcha.
So and most guys have no idea that even exists. I hear guys all the time in poker and say, liquidity mining. I say, okay, do you know what impermanent losses? They're like, what?
Right.
Yeah. So impermanent losses, it's very concerning. Like you have to know what you're doing. One way around it is if one of your pairing is a stable coin, a coin that's tied to the price of $1,
right? That
takes away impermanent loss. So a lot of the super whales, this is what they do. Yeah, they'll go USDT and Ethereum, so there's no impermanent loss. So there's that.
Okay.
And then what was the second question?
Oh yeah, no. Would you consider sort of, if you were to lump all three of these together just as a group, would you consider these more advanced activities, or can beginners? I mean, I obviously do your homework and be smart about it, but yeah.
Yeah, so I would say staking is anybody can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing complicated about it. Just go to the website and it'll say stake and it'll hit boom, bang, bang.
Right.
As far as yield farming, you have to be you have to know what you're doing.
Yes.
Because you can get wrecked pretty easily,
right,
if you know what you're doing.
Okay.
And then with liquidity pools, once again, it's easy to do, but you have to really know what you're doing because it's not easy money. You have to do homework, know which coins to be involved in, and ask yourself. So usually for me personally, I will only do liquidity mining with something I believe in long term.
Okay.
Because over a long enough span, impermanent loss kind of just offsets itself.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And then the other thing, sort of everything being relative, let's say somebody's just dabbling with $500 and let's say some whale's dealing with $20 million. So, is there one that makes more sense over the other in terms of small amounts, or does it all sort of translate to regardless of where you are?
I think it's all relative, right? So to a whale, $500,000 is nothing. To my neighbor, $500. So it's all relative. It's just percentages. You make 8% on 500, or you make 8% on 100 million. It's still 8%, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know there was one advantage of one of these three things over the other based on, it sounds great. This is awesome news. I mean, this is awesome information, Jason. I appreciate it, man. This is what I love about doing these little shows is I learned so much just from you, and I know it's just helping a lot of people that are watching as well. So I appreciate you taking some time today.
John, I appreciate you, man. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. And just a reminder, we're not giving out financial advice of any kind, educational purposes only, but smart people will take notes, and just be smart about what you're doing out there in crypto land. And as you start building wealth and as things start going well, remember CryptoTaxShield.com. We're here to help you protect that wealth and stay compliant and not get in trouble. So,
well stated, John. Well stated.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Let's do another one tomorrow, my man.
You got it. See you tomorrow.
All right. Take care.